Recognize Senator Schiff for 5 minutes of questions.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's an honor to serve on this committee and represent California's 4.2 million small businesses, including tech startups, nonprofits, child care centers, rural businesses, the arts and entertainment industry, and women and minority-owned businesses. That number is growing daily, and I am very proud to represent these incredible business owners, innovators, and hardworking employees. Senator Loeffler, I appreciate the conversation that we had last week. I think it was last week. The weeks have seemed endless these days. As you know very well, horrific wildfires and high winds have ravaged California over the last month, displacing thousands of families and destroying homes, schools, community centers, places of worship, and countless small businesses. As these fires have impacted the livelihood of innumerable Californians, it is crucial that we know California will have the full support of the federal government to respond, to recover, and to rebuild. And we must rebuild resiliently. The SBA provides disaster assistance for homeowners, renters, nonprofits, and businesses of all sizes affected by natural disasters. I got to see this really in operation, visiting the Discovery Resource Centers in Los Angeles, in Westwood, and in Pasadena. SBA was on hand in large numbers to help small business owners and homeowners find what resources were available to them to help them recover and rebuild. I do want to echo the concern raised by my colleague, Senator Markey, about the freeze on federal funding. I know there has been a subsequent statement saying that the freeze order has been lifted, but not the freeze. None of us really know how to make heads or tails of that. But what concerns me is that even if the administration says that help to individuals will not be affected by this, if federal funding to SBA is curtailed, then it means SBA cannot make loans to individuals and to small businesses. And at a time when Californians desperately need that help, any delay, any uncertainty will just add additional injury. I've also been distressed by some of the calls to condition funding to California. California has contributed more to the recovery of other states than any other state in the union. And I want to ask you, first of all, to recommit to something we discussed privately, and that is to ensuring, if confirmed, that all states, not just California, but all states receive speedy relief for disaster victims and survivors without regard for whether a state is red or blue or green or yellow or anything else. Are you committed to, in a colorblind, political affiliation blind way, make sure that SBA assistance is speedily provided to small businesses in every state?
Senator, I appreciated our time in being in your office and discussing this important matter. Obviously, my prayers are with California, but our efforts will be there as well. As President Trump demonstrated by his first official trip, typically presidents might fly outside the country. He went to California. He immediately appointed a task force, getting the very capable Rick Grinnell involved. I think the president's actions have demonstrated his support for disaster relief. He's done it effectively in his last term, and I will support his efforts and leadership to ensure the people of California have the resources they need under President Trump's leadership.
Well, let me just say I was grateful the president came to Los Angeles. I felt that if he saw the damage, he could not help but be moved, and I think and hope that he was. I am concerned, though, about some of the statements he has made about tying disaster assistance to the passage of completely unrelated voter ID laws or, frankly, any other unrelated policy matter. Let me also raise the need to, not just with respect to the disaster in California, but elsewhere, make sure that the SBA is proceeding apace with a sense of urgency, that it is efficiently and effectively processing loan applications. I realize the balance is difficult because you have to avoid fraud, and there was massive fraud in among some who are applying for COVID relief. We do not want to see that repeated. But nevertheless, we don't want to see excessive delays either. Frankly, I think firing the Inspector General harms the ability to ferret out waste and fraud and abuse. But are you committed to doing everything you can to provide speedy attention to SBA applications while providing at the same time safeguards to avoid fraud?
Yes, I am, Senator. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.